Ladies and gentlemen, by virtue of the powers vested in me as Vice-Chancellor and Principal, I hereby declare that this congregation of the VUT University of Technology is duly constituted for diplomas and degrees to be conferred to those students whose names appear on the program.
Ladies and gentlemen, as a congregation, you are invited to observe a moment as we observe a prayer before we commence with the official program. Dear Almighty, the Omniscient One, we come before you with all humility to serve you and your people. Please guide us in everything that we say and do. Bless each and every one of us and bless our institution. Inspire us to strive for that which is good and not to be self-seeking and serve our own interests, but let everything be done to your glory. Use us as your vessels of honor so that the fruits of our labor may endure for peace and goodwill towards all mankind. We ask this in your name. Amen. You may be seated. Welcome to the graduation ceremony of the VUT University of Technology at the Vanderbilt Park campus. Vice Chancellor, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I wish to welcome you as a congregation gathered here today to witness and celebrate the achievement of our students at VUT on this momentous occasion. A special word of welcome to our distinguished guests, members of staff, families, and friends. To all our diplomats and graduates, welcome to this long-awaited day. May it be everything that you hoped for. Vice Chancellor, it's my honor to present to you the candidates of the Faculty of Management Sciences of the Vaal University of Technology, whose names appear on the program for the receiving of diplomas and degrees. National Diploma Marketing Management, Kamala V.N., cum laude. Bodibi S.A. Dipare M.G. Shambangwane S. Shangwane V. Kanye I. Langa A.N. Leluma R.E. Leteli Y.N. Let's see M. Maboya D.C. Mabunda H. Majola N.M. Majola T.G. Malema L.A. Malesa K.P. Maloka K. Maloka N. Maluleki S.J. Manabele R.G. Mancho K.O. Maipaila M.L. Marcelone B.P. Mashishi T.S. Matubela P. Matubela V.W. Thank you. Machaba N.T. Makasi X.R. Nketelwa M.S. Imkize G.C. Nguni A.H. Magopo M.E. Molefi T.C. Molloy D.T. Motale R.M. Motsunyane L. Umtumbeni K.K. Mukumasi D. Ndlovu M. Kabindi T. Nkwane L.M.S. Nkwaba T. Shungase M.I. Nsoya M. Nukelo N. Pakati N.C. Kalani D. Ricotso T.S. Satura R. Sigoli M.S. Thank you. Thank you. Quiet. Thank you. Steelman W.T. Clisane Q. Choconi N. Chavalala S.G. Msetlo O.M. Tishimanga M.P. Nsone L. Kulu A.N. Malope J.B. Makuvele P. Zeta N.P. National Diploma, Retail Business Management. Vilani N.V. Cum laude. Thank you. Adakwa N.M. Baloy P.L. Bulwalanke M.D.P.M. Erimo B.I. Bakudze N.L. Hakane P. Ngopi J.M. Corey T. Kusimo O.S. Lehua P.A. Luisa M. Luisa M.C. Thank you. Wafadza G.L. Maja G. Mapiri S. Washanganya N. Motiolo T.Z. Miranda I.P.L. Nkabela T.S. Makashwa N.M. Imguni S. Maribelo B. Molala N.N. Nutivi L.L. Thank you. Thank you. Nzovi R. Nekengoni T.S. Where's your car? Morikoni T. Nematonzela O. Ngosheng M.F. Kabindi S.L. Nkosi D.Q. Thank you. Nonyane T.R. Ramaloko N.M. Ramonedi J.L.M. Rapalo B.L. Singo T. Tobejane T.M. Toala N.M. Nchaliwe D.D. National Diploma Sports Manager. Choku MC. Lingwati FP. Mabasa PN. Majoro MM. Manubeli TJ. Maraka M. Matibi IL. Mluli FL. Mfeketo S. Makwena K. Munyai J.A. Mwanza J. Ngobeni N. Njokwe N.T. Onsang B.V. Kumalo L.S. Sejake N. Silepi M.J. Shabalala V.D. Nchamane M.G. Twala S. Velagazi S.L. Mawane P.T. Mudau M. Koza N.S. Ndlovu S.A. B.Tech Marketing Management. Pakalasi Palesa, cum laude. Thank you. Bila M.M. Boy A.T. Mvuma T. Vikui P. Lamini T.L.L. Dosumu O.V. Nhlako M.P. Kekai L.H. Keta KTD. Kanye M. Kumalo G.S. Lenela M.A. Lerumo K.J. Maboko Chaba N. Madi S.L. Mashlangu T.N.P. Makoti M.T. Melgas J.S. Mandlazi M.R. Najia, thank you. Thank you, Quad. Thank you. Majia S.K.M. Matloga K.O. Nemani F.Q. Malawili Z. Mwaji OG. Malloy G. Motsepi SP. Pimi LA. Thank you. Thank you. Mutulilwane MB. Inkuna LB. Nshangasi T.M. Insole S.L. Nkumalo F.S. Patrick O.T. Fefuli M. Sebeko T.L. Simon C.C. Subaya R.M. Chakaza S. Yomi Ikamba P.L. Matsepane D.N. Maluleke C. Sandogo M.G.N.D. Makoti B.
Confer the degree.
Vice Chancellor, I hereby request that you confer the diplomas and degrees in absentia on those students whose names appear on the program but could not be present here today.
I hereby do confer the degrees and diplomas in absentia on those students whose names appear on the program but could not be here today.
Vice Chancellor, I thank you.
Pula kambe mintiro kuhanya mane
Risale welasi Ay no mo
Etire ni minangene ye
Osangene la watenga Oya batenga kambe bana washikwembu We mama Risale welasi
she sierile.
Kosanyanela batenga, batenga kabima,
Kuhanyamane.
isalele wenasi. Anyano.
Etirweni minangenye.
Kosanyanela batenga, batenga kabebona basikwembu, we mama isalele wenasi.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. A round of applause for the choir, please. Mr. Vice Chancellor, I think by popular vote, what this audience is suggesting is that you, as the Vice Chancellor of this institution, you create the post of choir master of the VUT, and Mr. Vumile Nomanyama has been voted unopposed as the choir master. Another round of applause for Mr. Vumza Nomanyama. We want you to stand here so that people can clap for you. Can you come here, please? Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. He is something else. He is God sent to the VUT so that he can be our choir master. Ladies and gentlemen, my role is just to acknowledge all of you. I want to start to acknowledge the parents that are sitting over here, and the parents that are sitting over there, and the parents that are sitting right in front. I think what this occasion signifies, it signifies two things. Number one is obviously the success of your children, your sons and your daughters. But the second one, it signifies your sacrifice. That little rand, that little cent that you had, you tied it somewhere so that you could give to your son and to your daughter, so that they could come to the university, they could buy a pair of shoes, they could buy a dress, they could pay their fees. So for you, parents, this is for you. This day is for you. Your efforts, your vision, your dedication, your support, your love to your children. This is the fruit today. A round of applause for you. Ladies and gentlemen, some of these young men and women that are sitting here are very lucky people. They have grandparents that are actually here with them. I see one, I see two, I see three, I see four, I see one at the back. Grandparents, thank you very much for coming to provide that spiritual guidance. We thank you very much. And we want you to continue to come to this institution for their degree and for their master's degree. Thank you very much. I also want to acknowledge the guardians that are here. Some of you supported our students. But most importantly, I really want to acknowledge the spouses. I know some of our students are now married. They've got wives and they've got husbands. So this is to those husbands, to those wives, and to those wives, thank you very much for supporting them. This is why they were not at home every Saturday and every Sunday, because they were in the library studying. And this is the fruit. Thank you very much. I also want to acknowledge the families that have come to support our students, who are now diplomandees and graduates. So to you, the families, thank you very much for supporting them. We are also honored, ladies and gentlemen, that we have got some few members of council. The body that governs the university is called the University Council. And I've got two colleagues that are here, and I would like them to stand up. They are our bosses. Mr. Mapalane, can you stand up, please? Thank you. Mr. Ikaneng Mapalane. Thank you. Mr. Joseph Hadebe, can you stand up, please? But we are also lucky that we have somebody to whom the VUT is part of his blood. Although he was a member of our former council, he continues to come to all our graduation ceremonies. Sir, Mr. Jason Mukwane, I request you to stand so that our people can see. Thank you, sir. He's very committed to this institution. He loves this institution. Now I can say so because he's no longer my boss. He harasses us literally on a daily basis about the status of the institution. We love it, sir. He may embarrass us once in a while, but we love what you do. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, I also want to acknowledge our heads of departments that are here. I don't know how many we have. Can they stand up? Heads of departments? That's Dr. Mukwena. And I'd like the academics to stand up. I really want to recognize you for all your efforts. Without your efforts, we would not have this day. So can you please stand up? Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I know some of you were very angry with them when they gave you 52, but what they were saying to you is you must get 82, not 52. So a round of applause for our academics, please. I also want to recognize my colleagues, our colleagues from the Registrar's Office, especially Mrs. Dzingwa and Mr. Mofokeng, and all the other colleagues from the Registrar's Office that were here. Thank you very much. Can you stand up, Mrs. Dzingwa, please? Thank you. That's Mrs. Dzingwa. That's the person responsible for admitting your sons and daughters to this institution. Mr. George Mofokeng. Thank you very much. I also want to acknowledge my colleagues from Corporate Affairs, Mr. Mike Kuboni and his team. They're the ones that are responsible for making sure that this graduation ceremony takes place. Mr. Mike Kuboni, can you stand up, please? I would also like to acknowledge my colleague, Mr. Les Kotsia, who is our Chief Finance Officer. Mr. Kotsia, please. Thank you. I would also like to acknowledge all the dignitaries that are here with us this afternoon to witness this auspicious occasion. I don't know your names, but I know you are here. Our dignitaries from the public sector, from government, from industry, and from other walks of life. You are most welcome to this august ceremony. We thank you very much. We would not be able to do our work in peace if the security were not doing their job. So the men and women in blue at the back, we thank you very much as our security people that guard this institution. We thank you very much. Our Student Representative Council, I would like to thank you. I know a few of them walked out, but I want to thank our SRC and obviously our labor unions as well. The last person I want to acknowledge is my own boss, Mr. Vice-Chancellor, we acknowledge your leadership. We acknowledge your vision. We acknowledge the way you are leading this institution. It has not been easy, but you have stood up. You have shown that you are the right person to lead, to manage, and to make sure that we all pull in the same direction so that these young men and women can come back for their degrees, and that the ones in the blue gowns can come back for their master's degrees and eventually for their PhDs. So I really want to acknowledge you and say thank you to you before you take the podium to speak. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Professor Khadebe always laughs at me when I say without much ado. So this afternoon, I had prepared a speech, but somehow I felt that maybe it is not appropriate. Let me recognize all of you, as my Vice Principal has already done so. But I would like us to rise to observe a moment of silence in honor of the passing on of one of the greatest stalwarts of the struggle for liberation of this country, and that is none other than Mamuini Nomzamo Madikizela Mandela. Can we please rise, please? Thank you. Yesterday morning, when we started with our graduation ceremonies, which, by the way, are going to end sometime next week, the message which I conveyed to those who started walking across the stage yesterday morning, the message was simply remembering your roots. And I'm just trying to echo the sentiments which I expressed for a purpose. Because yesterday I said it is easier and easy for people to forget where they come from. As soon as they are now called graduates, they forget their backgrounds and they forget their roots because of the jingling coins which are making their pockets heavier and heavier. And I said yesterday to the students who walk across the stage, no matter what your circumstances may be, you must never forget where you come from. It is very easy for many, and I've seen many people who would not want to be associated with their own backgrounds. Just because they've made it in life, they turn away from their parents, they turn away from their African cultural roots and lead a false life of becoming what they are not. And so, my fellow graduates, accept the advice that I conveyed to your compatriots yesterday, that even if you come from a family that lived in many years in a mukuku, but today it is your opportunity to take that family out of that mukuku, because you are what you are because of that mukuku. That mukuku must really serve as a motivation to you and to say to the whole world, my background is what makes me to be. Even if my mother was a maid, but today I am proud that from those humble beginnings, a graduate has come out of that background. You take, for instance, our own Nelson Mandela. Nelson Mandela ran from Transkei, running away from a matched marriage, and came to Johannesburg. But when he got to Joburg, he never forgot his roots. To the extent that he said he wants to be buried in Kunu. I'm not saying you must be buried in Kunu, but I'm simply saying, never forget your roots. And the second message which I conveyed to the second session yesterday was the value of education in our lifetime. So with those degrees and diplomas which you have attained, they are a key to success. Barriers and obstacles may have been there in the past. I like what my predecessor would always say on days like these, Professor Irene Mutlana. She would always say, there is one status that you have now lost. And the status that you have lost is that which you have been trying to describe yourself as coming from a historically black background or historically disadvantaged background. You are not disadvantaged now. You cannot be disadvantaged with your diploma and your degree. Mark those words. Because if you use your degree and your diploma productively and profitably, you cannot be disadvantaged. These grandmothers and grandfathers sitting here today are living between this world and the world to come. And the only thing that they want to see happening is the fulfillment of their dreams through you. And so with your degree and your diploma, don't go about shouting in the shebeens and you say, you know what? I can be what I am, but I'm a graduate of VUT. No, it is not right. You are not a graduate of VUT to go about boasting in the shebeens. In fact, you should go to the shebeen and say to your brother and sister who are boasting about, even if they did not get their degrees from VUT, just say to him or her, the society and the nation out there needs you. That is why President Cyril Ramaphosa, in his State of the Nation address, quoted Brahu Masegela in a very strange way, but as soon as he quoted him, it made a lot of sense. And I want to throw back Brahu Masegela's song when he said, Tumamina. Time has come for us as South Africans to say to you, send me. We are here today asking you that this gathering of people here, the academics who have spent so much of their time preparing and sometimes making you angry, because I know we have been students ourselves, and you say, oh, but that professor, I don't like to, but he is sharpening and shaping you for the future. And so they are saying to you on this day, Tumamina, Romanna, send me. Ek vergeet wat hulle sê in Afrikaans. Ekskuus tog? Stuur my asseblief. That's correct, yeah. So no one would say he did not understand when we said, stuur my asseblief, send me, Tumamina, Romanna. And so, this morning, I spoke about what does it mean to be an African. And I concluded by quoting Robert Mangaliso Sobukwe when he addressed a graduating class of 1949 and 40, where he spoke about the spirit of Africanism and the spirit of humanism. It is because of that heartfelt African background that I'm saying to you today, the gowns and the hoods that you wear will be meaningless if you forget your African spirit. And I want to challenge Jason here, and Ikaneng and Joseph and many others, and say, South Africa in Africa is the only country that does not have a name. It does not have a name. It is simply called by its geographical location. It is south of Africa, southern part of the African continent, southern tip of Africa. Countries like Rhodesia, when they got their freedom, they changed their names to appropriate names. That is why we've got Zimbabwe, we've got Zambia. And Namibia, as you know, was called Southwest Africa. And what is the appropriate name of South Africa? Azania. When we were students of the South African Student Organization, influenced by the Black Consciousness Movement, we used to say and sing high, one Azania, one nation. But why is it today that we are not calling our country by its proper name? I will leave the research to your kind selves. But you see, if you don't know your background, you will not know where you're going to. It is high time that we set the record straight. Not for this generation, but for the generation to come. Because if we don't do that, the generation to come will judge us harshly. I'm currently finishing a book on oral history. Oral history is about oral tradition and where we come from as a people. Allow me, therefore, as I conclude, to say to you, in responding to the call of Tumamina, maybe we need to talk about a knock at midnight. So this is the message that I'm going to leave with you, a knock at midnight. A knock at midnight is about responding to the challenges which face us as a nation. For many years ago, you all would remember and recall the role that was played by society and civil society in bringing about the changes which we see today. They responded to a knock at midnight. And a knock at midnight simply suggests that you walk through the pains and trials and tribulations of this country and you say to yourselves, even in the midst of darkness, even in the midst of adversities, I will remain true to the objective of ensuring that this country is a liberated country. A liberated country not for a few individuals and those who may probably be politically connected, but a country which says, even to the men in the street, he or she, when I say a man in the street, I'm using it collectively. That includes women, by the way. That the men in the street would also feel part of African Renaissance. We cannot talk African Renaissance when we, the African intelligentsia, are the ones who are looking down upon people. You know, I like the Presbyterian. I'm not a Presbyterian, by the way, but I like the Presbyterians. When they are faced with challenges, there is a hymn in the Presbyterian hymn books, and I'm going to, because I don't know how to sing it. I'm a singer, by the way, but I will just read it to you and probably have it translated. When faced with difficulties, the Presbyterians will sing high the hymn with the lyrics which go thus. And I will translate for those of you who don't understand Xhosa. Ndiyakuthi ndakudinwa akuphela amandla omzimba ndiziphakamisele kuwe izandla ndicele kuwe amandla. I will, when I get tired and weary, when the strength escapes my body, lift up my hands to thee and ask thee to invigorate me. That is the response to a knock at midnight. And that is a response to the Tuma Mina message. What then do I mean by these midnights? There are three kinds of midnights. One, it is midnight within the social order. Family lives are broken and there is no support base. It is midnight because people are dying of HIV and AIDS and other dreaded diseases. And other dreaded diseases increase the number of widows, widowers, and orphans. And yes, it is midnight. And the intelligentsia seems to be quiet and does not want to challenge the status quo. It is midnight in the social order because family values are lost. Young men and young boys rape elderly women and mothers and aunts because it is midnight. It is therefore your responsibility to respond to the Tuma Mina message. Even if the grandmother next door is not your biological grandmother, in the true African society, she is, and the law will take care of it. In our mental skies, more people are emotionally disturbed today than in any other time of human history. And what is society doing? The society is quiet. Society is failing to respond to the Tuma Mina message. Midnight is that hour when men desperately seek to obey the 11th commandment. And the 11th commandment, by the way, is, thou shalt steal, but not get caught. According to the ethic of midnight, the cardinal sin is to be caught, and the cardinal virtue is to get by. It is all right to lie, but one must lie with real finesse. It is right to steal if one is so dignified that if caught, the charge becomes embezzlement and not robbery. That is not responding to a knock at midnight. I can hear some grandmothers and grandfathers saying today, we have toiled all night and have caught nothing. And in such situations, and I'm not going to preach, but I will say, Jesus tells us that when you get a sense that you have toiled all night and have caught nothing, throw the net on the other side. And by throwing the net on the other side, you are responding to the Tuma Mina principle. When faced with such challenges and desperations, get courage, in the words of Ken Keith, as quoted by Martin Luther King Jr., when he says, people are illogical, unreasonable, and self-centered. Love them anyway. If you do good, people will accuse you of selfish, ulterior motives. Do good anyway. If you are successful, you will win false friends and true enemies. Succeed anyway. The good you do today will be forgotten tomorrow. Do good anyway. And I want to be quick now and move on to a knock at midnight and a response to the Tumamina principle. In the absence of credible leaders in our lifetime, Martin Luther King says, a time like this needs and demands strong minds, great hearts, and true faith and ready hands. Leaders whom the spoils of life cannot buy. Leaders who possess opinions and a will. Leaders who will not lie. Leaders who can stand before a demagogue and damn his treacherous flatteries without winking. Tall leaders, sun crown. This is the message which I want to send to you. And finally, Leo Buscaglia would say, only you can make the difference. You alone can bring magic and humor and joy to the people you encounter. Anything you dream, by the very nature that you can dream it, makes it possible. The purpose of life is to help others. And if you can't help them, would you at least not hurt them? You can make things happen that you never thought you could. The greatest risk in life is to risk nothing. The person who risks nothing, does nothing, has nothing, and is nothing. To be is to do, and to do is to do now, because tomorrow might not be there. You have everything you need to be so much. Don't settle for less. There is no end to human potential, and there is so much more to learn. The time for action is now, and only you can make the difference. Tumamina, I thank you. Shall we all rise for the singing of the national anthem? Before we dissolve this congregation, can I request the graduates to take out their certificates and look on the side of their parents and relatives and wave the certificates as a sign of saying thank you. And the last thank you, again, rise and take out your certificates and say to your academics, thank you very much. By virtue of the powers vested in me as Vice-Chancellor and Principal, I now dissolve this congregation of the VUT University of Technology.